you would wait and watch from far away. But you always knew that you'd be the one that would while they all play. And you'd lay awake at night and scheme of all the things that you would change, but it was just a dream. Here we are, don't turn away now. We are the warriors stepping on this town. Here we are, don't turn away.
Pedro Desai finds the back of the net, and that's the first post goal of the season. That's Macy Peterson with the goal.
From dust.
And we welcome you inside the Sports Center of Connecticut for this conference matchup. It's your Post University Eagles taking on the LIU Sharks, the final game of the weekend here for Post University as they get ready for the playoffs in just 2 weeks from now. Mike Vesey joined alongside Pete Whitney for this and Newha matchup this afternoon as we get ready to start. The players about to take the ice, but we'll get you starting lineups first. First, for your Eagles, it's going to be Holly Kubicek, Macy Peterson, Riley Patfield on the front lines. Danny Ammons and Angeline Pitter are going to be the defensemen. And then in net with a record of 5-12-0 on the year, Grace Glassrud will get the start for your Eagles. On the LIU side, it'll be Ashley Morrow, Jeannie Wallner, Anaya Wieldland, Celia Campbell, and Sage McKay, and then Annie Abramson, making her first start in almost a year in net for the Sharks. Anthem's coming up here momentarily as we're ready for this matchup here, and ask Pete right now. Pete, what are you looking for in this matchup today between Post and LIU?
Well, on Post's end of things, they need to find a way to generate offense, right? 3 games, outscored 13-0 in 3 games. So you obviously got to try something else. This is a great opportunity to try to shake some things up. Maybe stretch players consistently to open up the middle of the ice and maybe pop somebody through for a breakaway. Try some different things that can kind of open up against this strong defense of LIU, because you know what you've been doing. Obviously, they've got a pretty good beat on how that works. So let's try something different. Let's shake it up a little bit, have some fun, and try to explore some other ways to generate offense.
Anthem coming up right now in a minute, but while we are on that note, when it comes to the offense, the Post Eagles have been shut out 7 times in the all-time series by LIU. Their last 4, they've been shut out. Overall this year, they've been shut out 15 times, and they're going to have to do it a little bit of short-handed today. Hannah Saunders, the usual backup goalie, not in the lineup at all on the line charts today, as well as Marley Webster. She's not in this one. Jody Rose also dealing with an injury, and she's out as well. Jade Giesbrecht also not available for today's game. So a little bit of a short-handed team that Post has, but we'll kick it to the anthem now real quick. as we are ready to rock and roll here at the Sports Center of Connecticut. There's still plenty of time to come down if you're in the area for today's game. Plenty of action going around for Post University as well. Your baseball team getting underway on the road at Nova Southeastern down in Florida. About an hour ago, men's lacrosse kicked it off against DeUville in their second game of the season. And if you're over at the Drubner Center, you're watching women's basketball take on Wilmington University with Griffin Cass, which will be followed by men's basketball against Wilmington University as well. But here we've got a big matchup. The Eagles pretty much at this point, they are locked into the 7th seed in the tournament that'll start up in 2 weeks. Reason I say it's locked up is because Assumption won last night, and now at this point the Eagles 6 out with 3 games remaining. They can't make up any more ground because the Greyhounds hold the tiebreaker. However, it remains to be seen who they'll play, although it's looking likely that St. Anselm will be their matchup in the best of 3 2 weeks from now. Like I mentioned, Annie Abramson, this is her first start of the season, and looking at her numbers coming into the year, last year her last game that she's played was February 11th against Sacred Heart, a 2-1 loss. She beat Sacred Heart the day before that, and she actually faced Post twice last year. She shut them out in her last game against Post 4-0, beat them the day before that 7-1. Grace Glassrud getting her first start of the weekend as we are underway here. She had a great outing against Assumption last weekend as the Eagles won that game 3-2 before tying 0-0 the next day against Assumption. As you see, Abramson right away came way out of the goal as the Eagles were pressing up on that, but they're going in the other direction now with it. Morrow skating into the back corner. She's going to try and grab it, but she's cut off by Pitter. Peterson tried to grab it, but it stays in the zone with LIU as they're moving the puck around towards the end board. Yesterday, the Eagles losing 3-0. Hallie Lawrence getting her second start of the year. Again, the Eagles have lost 4 straight by way of the shutout against the Sharks and have not been able to score 2+ goals against them. Power play has also been an issue as of late for the Eagles, have converted on just 1 over their last 7 games. That one's fired in by Wallner, and it's stopped by Glassrud. She's going to pick it up, and then she's going to freeze it right there. So we'll get a face-off in the offensive zone for LIU with 19:01 remaining here in the first period, just getting underway. Rourke taking the face-off for LIU, and looks like that was Maddie Noonan as the Eagles win it and look to move it up with Luckman. Luckman can't keep it, and now Fairman's got it near the line, and that's going to be kicked over to Lenato. Devlin now skating up the right side. She throws it in. Jet Devlin is one of the fastest skaters, I've said this before, that I've seen in the Newha this year. She's just not been able to get the offense going for Post. Maybe today's her day to do that. She's got 3 assists on the year and 3 points, but no goals scored. She flies up and down the ice with the puck. Just has not been able to put one in the back of the net quite yet for the Eagles, as here they go with a rush again. Luckman through the middle. Luckman one-on-one, tries to go between the legs, can't do it. Devlin right there to try and grab it, but it's taken away by the Sharks. That's Schwolf in the corner. Sharks controlling back out to the middle, and they're going through the neutral zone. Up with it is Rourke. Rourke pushes it in, and it's cut off by Pitter, and now into the back with it. That's number 23, Brooke Larson, the freshman. LIU trying to maintain control. It was a pretty evenly matched game for both teams yesterday for about a good period and a half, 2 periods, and then things swung heavily in favor of the Sharks later on, as that one was nicely thrown in front by Tristan Curry. And Tim Marie Grom wasn't quite able to get there in time to do anything with it. Grom had the game-winning goal against Assumption last week in overtime with her family in the stands nonetheless. You'll see that interview with her during the first intermission. We'll get that for you. As well as some mic'd up with Tim Marie and Jet Devlin. So that's something to look forward to at the end of this period. LIU with the puck, moving it through the zone once more. Eagles have had some good rushes here early, but just not any shots quite yet. Ammons has it in the corner, and now it's pushed up to Curry. She's not able to corral it, and now it's over to Campbell back on the defensive side, and now flying out of nowhere to try and do something with is Noah Farberman, the freshman who comes into this game with 1 goal and an assist on the year. Farberman had that goal against Stonehill College on the road in the game that the Eagles won to open up Newha Conference play way back in October. That one will be iced down into the offensive zone of Post, and we'll be heading over into the defensive zone on the left side. It's Macy Peterson taking the face off alongside Rourke. It's won by LIU. Shot was just blocked right there by the Post defense. Post defense with a lot of blocked shots this year. They have done well in front of their goalies, but then as those legs get tired, as the game wears on, that's when you start to see the opponents capitalize. A great rush into the zone there by Sajal Desai to keep it alive on the offensive zone for the Eagles, and it's back out to the Sharks now, going the other way with it in the neutral zone. Pushing it in deep behind the net. Van den Uretlar is going to grab that. She's pinned against the boards with Rourke. Few Eagles and few Sharks in there trying to grab hold of it. Now it's out to Fairman. Fairman passes it over to the left side, and she's going to get it in deep to Morrow. Morrow now moving around the end boards, and she throws it back out to the left side. Morrow stuck in the corner, hounded over there by Noonan, and now it's back in the direction of the Eagles. Desai gets it and tries to push it over. Morrow is going to grab that, and now it's going to go back in the way of the Sharks. LIU has been able to sustain some early pressures here. Post struggling to get anything going in the offensive zone. They've had a few offensive rushes, but no shots yet to their name, as once again Morrow takes that away, and now back in the defensive zone with it is Van den Uretlar. She's going to get off the ice now, and it goes right back over to LIU, and they're going to push the pace once more. Larson now grabs it behind Glassroot in net and pushes it over to Grom. Grom now near the right circle, pushes the head from Luckman, and now it's all the way down the ice. Is that going to be icing? No. It's going to be tapped by Abramson. Now Mortal behind the net with it. Pushing it around to Mary Rachel Lanaus. And the Sharks now in the neutral zone trying to push the pace once more with Wallner with it near the left side. Wallner's going to push it to the right. Shot high and wide. That was Emma Mortal, the sophomore. She's got 3 goals and 6 assists on the year, 9 total points. LIU controlling it again. Campbell with it. Now Rourke. Rourke trying to push it up, and she's going to get it to the left side and up the left wing with it. That's number 24, Sage McKay. LIU in the light blue and yellow jerseys, Post in the white and purple. That one's going to be fired on by Peterson. It's stopped by Abramson, who juggles it quickly, and now it's going to be frozen. We'll head to the right side for the faceoff.
Mike, that's the type of thing Post needs to do. They need to get pucks to the goaltender to try to slow the pace and transition for LIU down so that they can maybe get more shots to the net.
Yeah, that's their first shot of the period. And it was a solid one from Macy Peterson, the freshman who had a point in this season where she had a stretch of 17 games without a point. She's finally started to get it going like she did earlier this year, and she gets the first shot there. And with a goalie like you kind of mentioned, is with a goalie like this who has not played in a year in a live action game, there's going to be a lot of second chance rebounds you would have to think from time to time, because she may not be as prepared in net for those opportunities, and the Eagles need to try and jump on that. They also need to work on elevating the puck a little bit more. That's been something that they've struggled with at times this year, getting that puck in the air towards the goalie. They seem to get a lot of ones that just kind of skip across the ground towards the net. Peterson did a good job of elevating that first shot of the period for the Eagles, who are working a little more into the offensive zone. Abramson has come out a few times to try and grab the puck for her team, and the Eagles have been right there to apply some pressure. So applying pressure early to Abramson, who, again, this is her first game in 364 days. Almost a year to the day since she played her last game against Sacred Heart. As Farberman in the offensive zone tries to grab it, but right there with it with the pressure is Eade. Now behind the net with it is Farberman. Farberman looks for somebody open. She's going to find Noonan. Noonan pressured in the corner, still has it. Tried to get it back out to one of the defenders up there for the Eagles and unable to do so. But now Noonan's got it again. She tries to feed Farberman in front, and she can't do so. Now the other way with it comes Culp. Maggie Culp, now in the offensive zone with 2 defenders on her. Now Desai is going to try and take that one away. Van Den Etlar is going to grab it, and now it goes back the other way. Julia Wysocki with it. She's going to just throw one in front. Another nice elevated puck. Abramson, she's going to freeze it, even though she tried to keep play going. And that's going to be a big offensive opportunity on the left hash for Post University here with 12:01 remaining, nearing the media timeout.
And that's the kind of tactic that they need to do here, is you need to do things, again, like we'll slow down LIU and try to win some face-offs, just like we just did, and get some opportunities in that fashion.
Face-offs were very even in yesterday's game for both sides. Well, when you look at a box score, even in a 3-0 loss, there was a lot of good takeaways from it. While the shots may have been way off, the Eagles have been winning a lot more of their face-offs than they were earlier in the year, which makes it a lot more of an even game when you have those offensive chances and you can win those offensive face-offs like the Eagles did just there, but were unable to capitalize on what looked to be almost a miscue by Abramson, as Glassford really hasn't had to cover the puck much. That's only going to be the second or third time she's had to do so here in the first about 9 minutes or so.
Yeah, and the next key to what you're talking about when you win those draws, you need to find a quick, effective play that you can move and get the puck to the net. It has to be somewhat predetermined with a couple options, and you have to be able to execute those quickly.
Now, I actually had a chance to go to one of the practices. That one's going to be shot on net there. Waiting to see the number as she kind of stumbled. That was Journey Miller who fired on net. I had a chance to go out to the practice earlier this week and mic up a couple of the players, and listening back to some of it, you could kind of see in watching some of the film, one of the things that head coach Gretchen Silverman was heavily emphasizing was figuring out how to capitalize on power plays, because in those games last weekend, the Eagles had a number of power play opportunities against the assumption that they just were not able to capitalize on because they just didn't seem to know where their placement needed to be on the ice. So watching them do a lot of 4-on-3 drills to try and figure out how they can properly set themselves up and be ready for those man-up opportunities. The Eagles had a few yesterday, weren't able to get anything from either one, but that'll be something to watch for offensively for the Eagles if they get the chance. That one shot high there. Looks like that was Milana Butera. Numbers are a little bit hard to see across the ice with the yellow and blue from our location up here. Be another offensive draw here as we are about 30 seconds away from the media timeout. Maddie Noonan taking that draw, and it's going to be won by LIU. Eade keeps it in, and now it's going to be pushed out by Desai. Early on, this Eagle defense has looked really good in terms of kind of keeping LIU out of those problematic spots in the center of the ice and giving them a high percentage shot. If they want to get it towards the net, they're having to shoot it from way outside. You just saw Fairman doing it there, and she got her shot blocked in front by the Eagle defense. Looking to push it up now. It's Curry and Noonan on offense, as well as Grom. Excuse me, that's McKevikis. Eagles maintaining possession with it. Van Den Etlar with it, and now it's behind the net and across to Larson. Excuse me, Ammons. Now it looks like we're going to get another icing called here with 9:40 to go, so we'll hold on the media as you got to wait for it to be either a shot on net or something other than an icing. The point of an icing is to kind of give that team the advantage who didn't ice the puck in the offensive zone. Wallner will take it for LIU. Noonan for the Eagles, and Noonan wins it. Van Den Etlar was just trying to kind of get it out of there and wasn't able to do so as it's still pressed deep in the zone. Eagles gave up an early goal to LIU in the first period, and that was the only one that they gave up. So far, the defense looking a lot stronger than yesterday. Trying to capitalize here is McKevikis. She gets in deep. There's 3 LIU Sharks out there, though, in front of her, and now it's going to be stuck in the corner, and I believe we're going to get a penalty. Yep, there'll be a penalty called there on. Looks like Morrow's going to the box. 2 minutes for interference. With 9:15 remaining. And as I mentioned, the Eagles now will have a power play opportunity, and they can see if they can capitalize on that. Entering today, Post is 1 for their last 28 on the power play. They have not been able to score on 26 consecutive power play opportunities as we do hit the media timeout now. So, Pete, what do the Eagles have to do here on the power play in this next 2 minutes to try and get themselves ahead in this game? It would be huge if they get the first goal and take the lead.
For sure. What they need to do on the power play, really not that different than when you're even strength and breaking out of your zone, is you need the ability to look through the layers, right? You can't just locate your player that you want to move the puck to. You have to really look and process what's in between that, and you always have to have two options. And the quicker that you can move the puck around in order to get your opponent out of position and utilize one of those, hopefully at least two options that you've created, that's going to give you your opportunity. Getting shots through from a distance to the goaltender, something low, something that create rebounds and rattle around a little bit with your play, maybe your bumper in front to attack the net. Those are going to be the kinds of things that we'll want to look for here and see if they execute those.
Just 9 power play goals on the year for the Eagles. Again, this is game 32 of the season. And right off the faceoff, LIU is going to get it in deep and pin it against the wall. Again, it is 5-on-4. Wysocki now has got it. Wysocki second on the team in goals with 5. Tristan Curry, who's also out there, first with 6. Excuse me, she's not on the ice right now. She'll probably come out during the power play. Wysocki now behind the net, getting it over to McKevichus. Out to Van den Uetelaar. Ammons now across. Oh, and that was the opportunity for McKevichus to get the one-timer. That was something I watched them work on, too, in practice earlier this week. They were working on passing the puck around like you saw there, and you'll actually probably get to see it during the mic'd up that we showed during the intermission. But they were working around the puck like that, trying to find the one-time shot in the left or right side. We saw Tim Marie Grom on Monday's practice take a few of those, and there was McKevichus with the opportunity. Just wasn't able to elevate it towards the net and get it. Peterson now with it. And that one's fired in by Desai high, right back out to Pitter. Pitter's got it, and now it's Wysocki. Wysocki circling in, shot saved by Abramson, but it stays in, and then Pitter slips, and it's going to go the other direction to LIU. That's Rourke who got it. 30 seconds left on the power play. Pitter with it, going to come through the zone. This might be the last rush for the Eagles that they can get, unless they can set something up. Curry's got it, and now that's Grom on the ice right there, and it's cleared out by LIU. 15 seconds. Maybe you got a chance for one more rush here with 7.5 minutes remaining in the first, and we're still scoreless. Curry's got it. She pulls up. And that's going to do it for the power play. So the Eagles now 1 for their last 29 on the man-up advantage. And still will remain at 9 goals this year. They also don't have any shorthanded goals, so another thing to note, if LIU were to go on the power play at all, they still have not gotten a shorthanded goal this year either. So Maddie Noonan had the puck for a second there and was taken away, and then Holly Kubicek almost was able to stop that deep one coming in. That'll be an icing call against the Sharks. So an offensive draw here coming for the Eagles with 6:49 remaining in the first in a scoreless game. It's been pretty even for both sides, I would say, so far. Would you agree, Pete?
Yeah, I think so. I think on the draws, I'd like to see him try some things like a slip where you let your opponent get it and you just kind of slide inside to pick it up and bring your inside forward into forecheck a little bit.
Right off the draw. Ammons fires, she scores! Danny Ammons gets the Eagles on the board. And they're ahead 1-0. I believe I would have to do some looking into it. That might be the first time that they have taken the lead on the Sharks in program history.
Yeah, that was just a perfectly executed draw. And again, that's what we talked about. They won the draw, moved it quick, no hesitation from the point. Goaltender, as she was getting ready and set, wasn't quite ready and set yet, didn't have her stick down, and she beat her through the legs.
A beautiful one-time shot, too, from the top of the point. Like I mentioned, this was something they were working on in practice this week, and it was executed perfectly off the face-off. And now the Eagles, just like that, have a 1-0 lead here in the first period as play is stopped real quick. So Danny Ammons gets gets credit for that goal, unless it was tipped in. We'll probably look at the replay in between periods and get you an update on that in case. That's going to be Danny Ammon's first career goal. The freshman from Sentinel, Colorado, gets the Eagles on the board first. They're actually awarding it to Holly Kubacek. I guess Kubacek must have tipped it in front. Again, we'll look at that during the intermission to see if it was Kubacek who got the tip in. But it looked like it was just a straight shot from Ammons at the point. But we'll wait to see in between periods as that one was thrown in front and Glassrud was right there in case. Another interesting story is Grace Glassrud. Again, she's actually interning with our sports information staff this spring. Came into the office this week and said that there are 2 teams that she doesn't have a game puck from beating this year. One of those is LIU. The other one is St. A's. And as it would currently stand, this is the final matchup of the regular season against LIU that Post has. But in the Newha playoffs, right now, St. A's would be the team that Post would face. So Glassrud has a chance to get that game puck today against LIU, and then in a couple of weeks from now, potentially get it against St. A's should the standings hold as they look right now. Again, LIU has already clinched the regular season title as well, so they will be the 1 seed in the Newha tournament in a couple of weeks, and taking on St. Mike's, who is winless so far this year. But the Eagles at the 7, locked in at the 7 now officially. It remains to be seen who they'll play, but looking at the standings right now with Stonehill at 30 points and St. Anselm at 35, all it takes is a St. A's win today, and then you've got your 2-7 matchup locked in. And then there's still some stuff to be figured out in the middle part of that Newha pack. And again, that is a best of 3 at the highest site. So at this point, next weekend on Senior Day on Friday night against Sacred Heart, that'll be the Eagles' final home game of the 2023-24 campaign. They'll have to go on the road. If they want to win, they'll have to win 4 games to win the Newha Championship. It would be their first in program history, which would start out with what it looks to be like is St. A's, and then going from there, the first round of best of 3, and then the next 2 are singles. Offensive draw here for LIU. They win it. Campbell's going to fire that wide by Glassrud. Glassrud getting over to the left side of her net to see if she can try and stop anything that may be in her direction. And now Post is going to control. 4:49 remaining. And that's McKevichus trying to dig it out of there. You got 3 Eagles, 3 Sharks all fighting for it, and eventually it's going to be Post who's going to get it. Macy Peterson had it for a moment, and now McKevichus again just trying to push it past that blue line and force LIU to reset. And now we've got a little pushing and shoving going on. That one's fired in by Campbell. Turned away by Glassrud. You have a little bit of pushing and shoving. At first it was McKevichus pushing up top, and now that looks like it was a blatant takedown there by Wallner from behind. Not even playing the puck. She just kind of pushed her stick into the back of the Post player and knocked her over. Eagles with it. Curry takes a little bit of a shot there by Wheeldland. LIU pushing into the zone. Trying to get something there, and that was barely tipped by Noah Farberman, but just enough to disrupt that play, or else LIU had a free runner going right to the net for a shot. Now the other way with it is Grom. Grom's got it. She's going to push it in deep. And that goes over to Noah Farberman. Farberman pressed against. You're seeing a little more of aggressive play now from LIU that we didn't see a few minutes ago, both physically and with the puck on offense. It seems like that goal by the Eagles sort of woke them up a little bit. With that goal, too, by the way, for the Eagles, it snaps a stretch of 4 consecutive games in which they had not scored a goal against LIU. Glassrud was ready to get that one, and Van Den Uretlar right there to corral it for the Eagles. She's going to fire in, and Abrahamson pushes that one aside. 3 minutes remaining here in the first period. It's 1-0 Post. They've only scored 1 goal per game against the Eagles, against the Sharks in the all-time series. 14 matchups, 14-0 the Sharks have been, and the Eagles have not scored more than a goal in any of those matchups. So they have a chance to make history on a few different levels today, possibly, depending on how this game plays out. That one's fired in by Scholl. And then it's corralled by Glassrud, who's looked good so far here. Hasn't had to deal with too much pressure on offense. Not too many shots going her way. LIU's kind of passed the puck around a lot in the early going of this one. And now, since that goal by the Eagles, have started to be a little more aggressive with it. Offensive draw here. And LIU will see if they can get something going. Ammons digs it out. She's going to push that one in deep. That might be icing. It will be, and they'll go back to the offensive zone. .221 remaining here in the first period. An early goal by what's being ruled to Holly Kubacek puts the Eagles up 1-0 just after their power play was up. Fantastic play off the faceoff. But LIU has started to punch back a little here with their aggressive play to try and get the equalizer. Morrow pushed that one over. That's going to be a shot from the left side by Eid. Another interesting thing to note, too, for the Sharks, they have 3 goalies on their lines, but their starting goalie, Tindra Holm, is overseas at the Czech Republic playing in the Five Nation tournament. So she's not here with the team. Another nice blocked shot there by Kubacek. We're starting to see a little more of a pushback now from the Eagles as well in terms of aggression. Fairman's got it. She spins around with it, trying to get to some open space. A nice shot there by Fairman. Glassrud goes, oh, and I can see it from right here. You may not be able to see it on your screen, but that one squeaked just by the left post. Fairman had a nice move inside. Glassrud made the save. And then you saw the puck sort of just trickle by that left post. No one for either team was able to find it until it was out of harm's way. We have approached the 1-minute mark here in the first period. Your Eagles still leading 1-0 on the goal by Holly Kubacek. That one's going to go way too high, and that goes off the netting. That was Sajal Desai, and now we'll get an offensive draw here for LIU, who's really started to apply the pressure in the offensive zone. They almost had a golden opportunity to score just a few seconds ago. Off the faceoff, it's won by Post. It's kind of playing a little bit back on their heels after we saw that rush. And again, with a short-handed team today, like we mentioned, no Marley Webster, no Jody Rose, and then Jade Giesbrecht is already out. And Hannah Saunders, the backup goalie, also out as well. So the Eagles playing short-handed, but leading in the early going of this one. It'll be very important to get to the break with the lead, as you're seeing. Whoa! LIU player coming out of nowhere and knocking Glassrud down after the whistle. That was Michaela Lanto who ran into her afterwards. 27.4 seconds left. That's won by the Eagles, and they're off to the races right there because no one was back to try and grab that. That was Jet Devlin. Devlin's going to have a chance here. 16 seconds left. The Eagles, can they maybe get another one here right before the end of the period? Again, a lot of pushing and shoving from these two teams now as here comes one last rush from LIU. That's going to be Scholf. Scholf fires. It's going to be blocked in front by Van Den Udetlar. As clock will expire, and at the end of one period of play, your Eagles are leading 1-0 on the first period goal by Holly Kubacek. We'll take a quick break here. Throw on the mic'd up for Tim Marie Grom and Jet Devlin from this past weekend. And then we'll get you some stats and then throw on some more videos here from Shelton, Connecticut. 1-0 your score after one.
do 2 laps.
Oh, that's
I
nice.
think we're gonna do 2 laps. And I'm so cold. My hands cold, my nose is cold, my fingers are cold, my mouth is cold. Did I say my toes? I'm gonna race you! I'm gonna race you! Yeah, my shoulder hurts a little bit. That's the thing. Ah! Oh!
This D you're gonna collect and bring that up.
So happy with the red Gatorade. Do you guys know what you're doing? Do you know what you're doing? Yeah.
What you're doing?
No. I think coach is coming out of this side.
You go first.
I'm not going first if I don't know. Well, someone needs to go from that side. Looks like I'm going over there.
No.
Whoa. Hey, baby. Ooh. I wanna know if you'll be my girl. Oh, sorry, coach. Oh. Yeah. Chip. The wind literally is out of me right now. Yeah. Man, that hasn't happened in a while. You know the monologue from Cars where he goes, speed. I am speed. Really quick, fast and fast. Lightning. Good job. Yeah, when I did that last. But I didn't say it today. I always used to say ka-chow when I would pass someone.
Well, one team's gonna go take the puck. The second team
I'm not
steps
supposed to be listening or not.
If you're under pressure,
Are we 3 of us perfectly you?
that'll be fun.
I'm hungry. Are we starting? I'll go with you. Yes, I passed some. Hello guys, hello family. Nani, if you're watching, I love you guys. I'm laying there. I am having fun at practice. But yeah, I love you guys. Noonan, do you want to say hi to my family? Noonan says hi. Oh, Tim! Come me! Oh! No! I'm straight. Hi, Michael! I have class at 11:45. You like this little lesson? Don't keep that in. I'm looking at you. Do not keep that in. Already. It doesn't hurt a little bit. No, I got. Oh my god. Whoever has it, I'm just gonna do that. I don't mess with them a little bit. Give them a little bit of fear. I'll strike fear into their hearts. What do you think about that? When one of them gets a puck, I'm just gonna go like. Why do you smell so fun as that day though? Because it got spilled on me and then he kept spraying water at me. Look at how wet I am. No. It's all over here. It's all over my. Because I spilled it. So he sprayed so much water on me, and now I'm so wet. I don't know what I'm doing. To be
Set your mind. Get ready for LIU. I'd not like nothing more than to upset LIU. They're sitting on their high horses up there at the top of the league. I'd love to get a win or 2.
About 10 minutes away from the second period getting underway. Back here, Mike Vesey and Pete Whitney for a quick little breakdown of the first period. So Holly Kubitschek, we did confirm. We actually went down there and asked Danny Emmons, did that go off of Holly Kubitschek's stick? And she said it did. So give that goal in the first period to Holly Kubitschek. She's starting on the front line. This is her 91st game played, 28th of the year. It's her first goal of the season, 2nd of her career. So that play will go from Noah Farberman over to Danny Ammons, and then scored by Holly Kubacek. So Holly Kubacek gets the goal, and then the assists go to Ammons as well as Farberman. That was the only goal of the first period, and the shots were close. LIU only had 9 post 5, and we talked about it. It was pretty close in terms of that. 1 power play for the Eagles. They were not able to convert on it. They are now 1 for 29, and they have not scored in the last 27 attempts. Pete, what did you see from the first period from both teams, and what do, more specifically, Post have to do in the second period to maintain this lead, extend it, and have a chance to really win this game?
Well, there's a couple of things that I saw, Mike. I mean, one of the things is I think you can't just dump the puck in the corner, because Post has not been successful with the forecheck, and pretty much most of the time LIU's been successful in recovering that puck and breaking it out. So I think putting the puck to a goaltender and forcing them to handle it, then move it to a defender to move it out is probably a better tactic against this team, just because there's more moving parts to that puzzle, right, than just dumping it in the corner, not winning the battle, and the puck coming out. The other thing is the unforced icings. Now, the last 2 icings of the period, the last one in particular, LIU was in post zone for almost 2 minutes before they were able to get it out even over their blue line. Then it came right back in. And that was all because of a puck that was iced. Now, again, is it a better play to work the puck along the wall and hope for help and work it out like that, as opposed to icing the puck? I mean, even though Post has been winning most of the draws, it looks like they have a slight percentage advantage. LIU is able to bear down and win those draws when it counts in the offensive zone, and that's forcing Post to run around. Those players get tired, they fatigue their legs, so eventually that's kind of thing that takes their toll. So playing a little smarter, I think they're playing hard, but I think they could play a little bit smarter and tactically make some adjustments and put themselves in positions to potentially, again, they win a draw because they've been winning just like that play. They win the draw, back over the point, quick shot. So those are kinds of things I think they're going to need to do and work on if they want to be successful as this game goes on.
Yeah, the faceoffs in the first period did favor Post 10-8, but like you mentioned, and block shots were 4-2 as well. But as you mentioned, it seemed like after that goal, LIU started to really punch back, and that aggressive style of play with the Eagles being shorthanded, the Eagles aren't going to be able to sustain this for a full 60 minutes if they don't have, time of possession in this game, which towards the second half of that period they really didn't have like they did early on with those rushes. They came out with a big burst, LIU punched back, the Eagles mounted a response, but they've got to find a way to kind of maintain that pressure for longer periods of time offensively, or else you're going to see a breakdown from the forwards back to the defense, and then eventually Glassroot and Net, who's looked spectacular so far in this one.
Yeah, in both the offensive and defensive zone, it's about cutting that ice in half, swarming, and there's a difference between allowing your opponent to be good and your opponent just being good, right? If you're pressuring, working hard, and they can win those battles, well, that's a different conversation. But when you're not pressuring hard, when you're not cutting that ice in half, and you're just giving them time and space in that sense and making those icings we spoke about, you're letting your opponent be good, and that's something you really want to avoid, especially when you're playing a team that you have struggled against, and now you are on the right side of things with them. So again, those adjustments, those changes, those challenges from a coaching aspect are fun technically to lay out there for your players, but then at the end of the day, they're the ones that have to execute.
So we'll take a quick commercial again, about 5 minutes to go. We're going to show you actually the interview that Timmerie Grom did after the last win at home for Post. It was a 3-2 overtime victory. Timmerie with her family in the stands, Griffin Cass with the interview. We'll show that to you, and then we'll try and get you another quick mic'd up video as well right here from Shelton, Connecticut, and then we'll bring it back here for the second period about 5 minutes from now.
Cass alongside the sophomore forward Timmerie Grom. Eagles win 3-2 in overtime over Assumption University, and what was a thrilling victory. So, Timmerie, you had that goal in overtime to win the game. Just take me through that final play.
The final play, well, if anyone watched the games prior in the season, the same exact thing happened, but I hit the post. So it was kind of, I said before I went on the ice, I said no posts, no posts. And the play just happened to work out the same way. And I just had it in my head, I was like, no posts. And I bared down and just put it in. So it was kind of relieving to get that goal.
So we got word that your mother was here today.
Yes.
How meaningful is it to you to have this type of win in front of her with her in attendance?
It's very meaningful. She comes to a few games a year, but I don't think I've ever scored while she's here. So it was really special. I'm sure she's like ecstatic and just like out of this world happy that she was here to witness me score.
Absolutely.
Yes.
A fantastic moment. And then you guys were down 1-0 and then 2-1. Come back to win 3-2. Just describe the resilience of the squad and what it could do for you heading into the postseason with the regular season winding down.
Postseason, so what it means to like me personally, my line mates, Maddie Noonan and Tristan, the whole game in the offensive zone, we just run the play. One of you goes high off the wall, one of you goes low. We kept running it and running it, and it was working. It just, pucks weren't connecting quite perfectly, and I told Tristan, I was like, just go high. I was like, just rip it. She did, and it went in, and it was very exciting for Tristan because you try so long, and failure after failure, our line believes that failure is like the first attempt in learning. So if you keep trying, you get there. Just the resilience in that and keep trying until you get it, it feels wonderful.
Absolutely. Congratulations on the win. Huge win. Go celebrate with your teammates.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Cast alongside the sophomore forward, Tin Marie.
The most action this mic is gonna get is my breathing.
No, I know, or my sniffling. Hey. So much snow already.
That was a little early. I always chew gum now. It actually helps you breathe better because your mouth has to stay like open, so like I can't hold my breath. Thanks, the otter girl. Good job, bro.
Do you have anything to say? Any spit? Any spit today? No spit? That's good. If I'm bored, I'm gonna break out into a song. Give them a concert. X's and O's. My exes. And they hurt me. I don't want protection. I don't want to like hit it. The mic just got hit. Oh my god, did we break the mic? Ducky, you broke the mic! Yes, it's off me. We broke the mic. We broke the mic. I lost the mic. Because Ducky shot it on my face. I don't know where the second part is. Is it on me still? Uh-oh.
Yeah, well, you got the fluffy thing.
Okay.
Oh, check 1, 2, 3.
Uh-oh.
There you go.
It wasn't me that broke it in the first place.
Well, it was a pop.
It's the other Hannah. I'm name dropping. Again?
Two microphones.
Two mics? Oh my goodness, they're definitely not coming back now. Did you break your mic? Back on live, everybody. Get out of here. That was fair. They don't even zoom. I want to zoom in.
Oh,
Hi, Mom.
Say something to your mom.
stopping you.
Oh, okay. That's it, Mama. I'm really sweaty, but my toes are freezing. I feel like a disappointment right now because of this. They're gonna be so bored watching this.
I don't get how people are getting hit in the head and getting hit and hitting the mic. I went to Rockettes on Friday.
What?
The Rockettes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was actually really fun. All you think it is the line dancers, but it's like a whole Christmas show. Eagles on 3, 1, 2, 3, Eagles! That's a wrap. We survived, barely.
So you got to see another mic'd up there with the goaltenders, Grace Glassroot, who's in net, as well as Hannah Saunders. Post wins the opening faceoff, and like we talked about, we saw a much more aggressive team there at the end of the first period by LIU. Eagles need to try and maintain control of some possession here and really utilize, again, those intermissions. Well, Macy Peterson with a chance here, skating in between, and that's going to be shot over by Grom wide. Excuse me, that was Riley Patfield, the 18s and the 1s on there.
And that was a great bit of deception there because she...
We're going to get a shot there, and Glasswood's going to give that one up. That was tough. Couldn't quite see who got that. Looks like it was Wallner. Puck just kind of bounced up to Glassroot, and she was not ready for it.
Yeah, and that's one of those plays, like I was saying, that initial play was a great bit of deception, actually. She looked off, the defender bid on it, and she was able to get an opportunity on goal. However, as that play transitioned, Post did not get back above the puck, which allowed for that odd man rush and the ensuing goal.
So the game tied up on the first shot of the first period, and now LIU coming right back at Glassroot again. That one's taken out by Luckman, though. Noonan now over to Devlin. So it looks like it was Wallner with the goal. Jeannie Wallner, that would, if it is her goal, it would be the 11th of the year. The puck, it looked like it wasn't going to get to an LIU player. It took a weird hop off the post defender in front, and then it just happened to find the stick of Wallner, and she put it up and over Glassroot. It is given to Wallner, so it will be her 11th of the year. Assists pending. Very hard one to figure out there. Less than a minute into the second period, so we've got a brand new game, 1-1. Eagles need to try and mount a response. It's been really all Sharks for those final 7 minutes of the first, and the first about 2 minutes now of the second after Macy Peterson's initial shot. Excuse me, not Macy Peterson. Macy Peterson had the puck and got it over to Riley Patfield with a nice shot, and now Glasswood's going to make a save there. It's kicked out to Luckman. Luckman was trying to get numbers the other way and couldn't quite do it. LIU maintaining possession and control. That one is going to be shot wide by Maggie Culp. Now once again, Pitter tries to get it out, and Culp's going to just grab it in the corner and keep it down in the offensive zone for for LIU. It's kicked out to Mortal, and that one's going to be deflected, and it makes it back into the back of the net. And just like that, LIU has taken the lead.
Yeah, just allowing too much time and space, too scrambling in your defensive zone, and you can't give a team with that kind of skill that amount of time and space.
So just like that now, the Sharks have taken the lead back. It was deflected in front by someone off the initial shot by Mortal. Couldn't quite see who. As the Eagles win yet another face-off, and now Ammons is going to shoot that one in deep. So now 2-1 Sharks here in the second period. Still early, but the Post offense has really not gotten anything going since that face-off win for the score in the first. Is LIU coming right back at it again. That's Culp, and they're going to get called for offsides. It looks like it was somebody on the near side who was over the line already. Yeah, we'll try and get you more clarity on who scored that one, but it was tipped in front. I believe it was by Ryan Kearns, who's taking the face-off now against Macy Peterson with 17:27 to go here in the second. So it's going to be Grace Babington who gets the goal. They just announced it. Babington with the goal. That one's going to be shot on net there. It looks like that was Macy Peterson who had another nice shot. She's had a few now in the first two periods. She's been pretty dynamic on offense so far, but LIU is just coming right back with the speed, and Culp hounded by Peterson, who's not giving up on that play, as Culp is just skating around with it all on her own, doing it by herself against the Eagle defense, who finally did get back. Rourke has it. Now she's doing the same exact thing, and she's going to get fired in the middle, and that one was deflected down by Butera. But outside of the crease. So 2 early shots here by the Sharks go in, as that one was fired on net too by Math.
Yeah, right now LIU is way too comfortable in the post defensive zone, just setting up in front of Grace and being able to tip and redirect pucks. So those defenders have to drive those players out of there and make them less comfortable being there.
Yeah, which is something they did well in the first period. They were not letting the Sharks get to that middle of the zone, and now, oh man, that was deflected down by Maddie Noonan, and it was dangerously to the left side of the net on the shot by Fairman. Something they did a really good job of in that first period was keeping LIU out of the center of the zone, and now we're just watching them pretty much at will go wherever they want in the offensive zone and getting to the middle where they can get those deflected pucks, and that's where you saw the 2 goals come from right here to start off the first period.
Yeah,
the second.
Yeah, and it can be hard getting on the body, but the idea is lift the stick, right, and try to control the stick in an effort to limit those opportunities.
That one takes an LIU bounce out to the defenders. Fairman fires on net. That one's wide, and then Rourke is going to, that was pushed aside, and then Rourke was able to get a stick on it, and she pushed it wide of the net. Against Glassrud, she had the wide open left side there, and had Glassrud beat if she gets that one firmly and squarely on the net. LIU is just pushing the Eagles at will, but I believe saw an arm go up. Thought they were getting a call there because there was a hit just before that. Other way coming with it is LIU, and they're just hustling more to the puck right now than the Eagles are able to, as that one was nearly taken by the Sharks. Mortal now with it, and it's going to be taken away by Patfield. Patfield is just going to dump that one in deep, and they're going to get a change. But Patfield staying out there and nearly got the puck back herself. Ammons now trying to hustle, and you're just seeing the LIU offense just fly in there. Pitter tried to get it, can't do it, and two Sharks ran into each other, or else it looked like they had a wraparound opportunity, as the Eagles were not in position to defend that one. And yet again now we're seeing that Post is not able to maintain control of this puck long enough to sustain anything offensively. And we've seen a few times Abramson uncomfortable in net when the Eagles get shots on goal and there's been those second chance opportunities. But Post has to find a way to get it in the offensive zone and make Abramson uncomfortable, because she did look it in the first period, and that's how you saw the first goal get scored. Now the Eagles going to need another one to get back into this one, as they trail 2-1 here in the second with 14.5 to go. Ammons back with it. Gets it over to Devlin. Devlin hounded right there by Mortal, and now it's back over to Grom. Grom fires in, and that one nearly got through the legs of Abramson, and now Grom again nearly had an opportunity in front, not able to do so. And it's right back to the Sharks as we get a few changes on the ice, and now wielding into the zone with it was the captain, Rourke. Rourke still with it. Quick change there happening, and now Peterson has been all over the place trying to help out anywhere she can, and there she's, oh man, that's going to be called for a penalty. It looks like it was a trip. Came up a little too high with the stick. Yep, that will be a tripping call with 13:38 to go here in the second. Macy Peterson sent off for a trip, and that's big now. You lose one of your dynamic playmakers who's really been all over the ice defensively, offensively, to help create space for the Eagles. She's now in the sin bin for next 2 minutes, and the Eagles will go on the penalty kill.
Yeah, and that's one of those plays you just have to keep moving your feet. That's going to be a difference maker for Post the rest of this game. In order to play with a quick team, you have to keep your feet moving. 16 power play goals this year for LIU. We'll see if they can extend this lead here that they've taken after trailing 1-0 after one. Fairman's got it at the point. Goes into the corner over to Babington. Back behind the net with his Miller. Eade now back over to Miller. LIU very methodical, very slow with moving the puck. You see the Eagles kind of just back in the heels in front, doing a good job of not coming too far out, but now that's going to leave Fairman wide open for a shot, and that'll be stopped by Glassrud, fired right on net. So a solid opportunity there. You see the Eagles seem pressed back more towards the crease, all in front of Glassrud, which leaves open space over where the Sharks have been converting on their chances here in the second so far.
Dangerous play there, but Glassrud had it. Eagles still unable to get out of the zone at all after that face-off win by LIU. Eads got it up top. Out goes behind the net for this power play unit as they try with the wraparound there. That was Miller. Not able to get it. Now Babington's got it over to Ead. Ead back over to Babington. Behind the net over to Ead again. Devlin on the ice. Pitter on the ice. That one's fired high by Fairman. You also got Curry and Desai. So the veteran core for the Eagles, and then Devlin, the lone freshman out there, trying to make something happen. Eagles finally able to force something. Look at Jet Devlin flying everywhere to try and disrupt the LIU from getting set up in the back of the ice. She has a motor that never quits. And you see it in the games. You probably saw it during the mic'd up between periods. Desai's going to grab that one. 30 seconds left on it. Ooh, nearly a trip there. It looked like Ead's stick got a little bit tangled up there. That one's going to be kicked out by Devlin, who's hustling off the ice. A great shift for Jet Devlin there to help not only disrupt LIU and getting set up as, this is going to be an opportunity here as Grom slipped behind, and now it's going to be 3-on-3. Culp in front. Oh, nice stop there by Ammons. No penalty there as it's going to be pushed out, and that'll do it. A good penalty kill for the Eagles. Really kind of, I would say a big part of that was not only the way that they were set up on defense, but also the way that Jet Devlin played during her portion of the shift. Loose stick right there, knocks down Kearns. Shot there by Culp, knocked down. Kearns now gets pushed down by Grom, who doesn't have a stick, but makes a nice defensive stop to kind of disrupt the Sharks offense for enough time to get that stick back and get back into defensive positioning. Eagles now get it back. We're approaching the media, which will be big too for the Eagles, who, again, really haven't been able to push the pace much, as here we go with a little bit of hustle from Wysocki, who's going to try and get there, can't do so. Now we see a Shark slipping behind the net. That was Matthey. And Wallner's going to push it over. And then look at that block down there by Peterson. It leads to Wysocki with a chance, slip in front by the defense, and they're not able to capitalize as Wysocki tried to push it back over to Peterson. Good offensive opportunity there for Post, but they weren't able to cash in with a shot opportunity. Wysocki lays down a hit there. That was clean. It was just a straight run-in by Matthey, and Wysocki just dealt the damage. And now Wysocki with a shot opportunity there. It's going to be blocked in front by Schroeffel. Now that one's fired on net. Now the Eagles offense starting to get going. 10-17 remaining here in the second period. And it looks like we're going to go to the media real quick. And this is going to be a big offensive draw. In fact, it was out of the media. And no, we're not getting the media here. Out of the media, though, in the first. That's when the Eagles scored. It was off of a big face-off win, too. Eagles get this one. Patfield behind the net. Kubicek not able to get there. Now back the other way with it is LIU and Campbell. She just had that one there, Kaylee Campbell. Maddie Noonan coming up the ice with it, or trying to at least, but she's dragged down by Butera, who got her stick tangled up there. Rourke now with some fancy moves. Gets that one high, and that one's just going to go off of the rafters, so we'll stop play there at the left circle.
And that's just an example, Micah. We talked about the forecheck, right? That's a puck dumped by LIU where Post recovers, but LIU cuts the ice in half. They bring numbers, they swarm, and they're able to win that battle on the wall. That's the type of thing that is going to be a difference maker for both teams.
Yeah, now we got the media coming up, so the Eagles were able to catch their breath. They had a nice little boost there after getting the penalty kill offensively by Julia Wysocki and Macy Peterson right off of her penalty right there to give themselves a chance offensively. And then we saw a little bit of pushback by LIU there right before the media. But Post starting to look better as this period's worn on. They're very lethargic to start this second, and that's what really led to those two goals for the Sharks, who are now in front 2-1. But I think the more opportunities you can get against Abramson, the more you're going to be able to rattle the young goaltender who, again, has not made a start in almost a year now, to try and get something going offensively. But the Eagles are hanging tough right now, but you can only do that for so long in 3 periods of hockey.
Yeah, at some point, right, you have to find a way to produce. But to your point, that attack, that effectiveness, that forecheck, that moving your feet was a difference maker.
Big face-off here if the Eagles can win it and get it out of trouble right off of the media. They're not able to do so as the Sharks are going to grab it, but then that was pushed over. I think they were hoping Campbell was going to be over there. She was not. Luckman, though, is going to push that one in. Butera is going to steal it away, but Luckman right there to disrupt the puck, and now Van Den Uyl-Etlar grabs it. And now LIU gets it right back. That's going to be McKay wielding herself in on the left side. Desai all over her. And he's able to disrupt it. Now Rourke has it behind the net. A lot of speed from this LIU team in the first period. In the second period, we didn't see a lot of that in the first. A nice setup in front there to Vreeman, but wasn't able to keep it in. McKay now, that's Rourke from the right point. Rourke shot blocked in front. Looks like it was Grom or Desai who was able to get a piece of that. Now Jet Devlin all over the place, trying to disrupt the LIU offense. Sharks looking to get it in. Butera gets it in and then gets off the ice. Aside from that first period goal, the 2 biggest playmakers for Post so far, again, with hockey, you only see the goalie stats, the people who scored the goals, and the people who get the assists. And unless you're watching the game live, you don't get to see the other intangible stuff that doesn't appear in a box score, like we're seeing from players like Jet Devlin and Macy Peterson, who are doing a great job of setting up the offense for Post, and then defensively with players like Sejal Desai and Angeline Pitter and Casey Van Den Uyl-Etlar, who have been really anchoring the defense so far in terms of getting back their hustle plays and being able to push LIU off the puck. Has been a real difference maker for this team, even though when you look at a box score, it's going to say 2-1. There's little things that you're not seeing in that box score, like this hustle play by Jet Devlin yet again to try and knock Eid off the puck, as Post now has got 3-on-2 the other way in favor of them, but that one's going to be fired on by Eid, and it was Morrow who was trying to get a piece of it and couldn't. And now back the other way, Peterson's got 7:43 remaining here in the second period. Post trailing 2-1, but has looked better in recent moments. That puck's going to be iced, and now it'll be another LIU offensive draw.
Yeah, and that's those unforced icings we talked about. They seem like an innocuous play, but can lead to scoring opportunities, zone time, right? All those things you don't want to see.
And I believe now, it looks like we're getting a timeout called. Yep, so Gretchen Silverman calls her lone timeout of the game now. Interesting strategy. I believe, if I remember correctly, they did this earlier in the year too when they were in a similar position to this. Although that may have been the weekend where both coaches were out, and it was Tim Richter and Brandon Brown and Larry Erickson on the bench. I can't quite remember, but at one point there was another time where the women's team did call a second period timeout to try and regroup, try and get themselves a little break. Not a bad idea to do it here. You come out with a strong 7 minutes, and then you get a 15-minute break, and then you have to come out in the third period and either tie this game up if it's still 2-1, or potentially take the lead, depending on if you tie this game up here in the closing moments of the second period.
Yeah, you want to do something, right, that you feel is going to disrupt, slow down the momentum of your opponent. So she's taking some time drawing something out. So, again, this is kind of the fun of it from a coaching standpoint, see what she's actually drawing up and what they're able to execute.
And it'll be interesting to see what they can execute, especially because they're going to be on the defensive end of the puck right here. Like we mentioned, out of the media, they're on the defensive side of the puck with the chance to hopefully do something. Looking at the faceoffs, it's dead even, 5-5. But the shots in favor of LIU, 15-7 overall, 8-5 in shots on goal. So a much better period if you're the Sharks and head coach Kelly Nash in her second year. After that first period where they looked like the lethargic ones in terms of their speed and their pace of play, in which Post came out the opposite with their legs ready to go and under them. And now we've seen kind of a reversal here in the second where it seems like the Eagles look a little more worn down. And again, it's important to note too, they are a little bit shorthanded due to some injuries and due to players getting healthy for the playoff push in the next coming weeks. You don't want to risk, especially with with the amount of players that they have. You don't want to risk anything down the line because the playoffs are right around the corner, and now your playoff seeding is set. And there, your focus kind of goes towards that. But it's still important to get some momentum going into the playoffs, and this is a big game that can provide them with that momentum to show that they can beat a team like LIU who, you know, if they want to win the Newha tournament this year, they're probably going to have to go through LIU at one point or another to do so. So it looks like we got a penalty here. Yeah, it's going to be on Miller. Journey Miller going to the penalty box, and I believe it was for a hook. Looks like it was a hooking call there, so Journey Miller to the penalty box. The Eagles now with an opportunity to score. Again, they have not converted. Coming to today, they were 1 for 28. They're now 1 for 29 so far in their last, over their last power plays attempts that they've had in now 8 total games. 1 for 29. They have not scored on their last 27. A chance to do it here. As you see there, it's Pitter with it up top and now moving it around. Desai got it into the corner. Curry with it. Tim-Marie Grom out there now. Back up top to Desai. That one's blocked down. No one can find the puck. No one can grab the puck now. LIU tries to get it out, but unable to do so, and it goes right back to Desai. Eagles trying to reset here. Grom just fired it over to nobody, but it was picked up over there by Noonan. Now in the back on the defensive side of things is Post. Now Curry trying to push it up. Curry gets it over to Noonan. Now we've got a one-on-one opportunity here. Noonan's going to be pushed out, though, by Fairman. Grom or to Van Den Uyl-Etlar. Van Den Uyl-Etlar up top with it. And she's just kind of wielding it around on that side. And now Curry's got it behind the net. Trying to see what she can do. Back over to Vito over there. Up top. Shot goes wide by Van Den Uyl-Etlar, but it's going to end up going over to Grom, and she gets tripped up a little bit there, but Curry's got it right back. Curry over in the corner to Noonan. Noonan back out to Grom. Eagles doing a good job of maintaining possession on this power play, something we didn't see a lot of in their home games against Assumption last week, and that one was fired on net by Van Den Uyl-Etlar and picked up in net there by Abramson.
Yeah, I think that's better puck movement by Post. I'd like to see him be aware when they have that puck behind the net, the LIU team is overcompensating to the strong side, and that weak side defender actually could slide down that back door for a possibility.
Lots of space for the Eagles, especially when they are behind the net. It seems like the LIU defense is not moving all that much to try and stop them. They kind of have all the time in the world behind the net that they want. Macy Peterson's got it now. She's been, again, like I mentioned, very dynamic in today's game, even though it's not going to show on the box score so far. She has been a force. Wysocki, that one was tipped up either by an LIU defender or potentially by McKevichus. Hard to tell. The power play over. So now make that 1 for their last 30 on the power play and 28 straight power plays without a goal for Post University. A chance there, and now it looks like that's going to be icing. So another offensive opportunity for the Eagles. .431 remaining here in the second period. It'll be Maddie Noonan taking the face-off against Rourke. Eagles win it. Noonan grabs it. Keeping it in is Larson. Now LIU is going to control. We're back on 5-on-5 as well. 4:21 remaining here in the second period. Eagles trailing by a goal. It was just those few lapses in the early seconds of the, early few minutes of the of this period that kind of changed the momentum of the game briefly. But the Eagles have responded nicely, especially out of the timeout and with that power play, with maintaining more of the puck control and maintaining the time of possession over the last 4 to 5 minutes or so compared to what they were doing in the first half of this one as clock was stopped. Oh, it looks like the goal came off of the line, so they're fixing it. And so we got a little bit of a break here. It looks like they got it all back on okay. So another offensive draw. If anything, this is in favor of Post now since LIU did have control of the puck, and they win the faceoff there. Fired by Desai wide. Oh, man, if you had an Eagle player on that right side, it was wide open for them. But they were pushed a little bit farther back because Desai got that shot off so quick. Glassroot's going to cover here with 3:34 to go, and now the ice is sort of flipped here, where now we get an offensive possession or potential offensive chance for LIU, who leads 2-1 here. If you're Post right now, it would be big either to tie it or at least take this game to the third with only a 1-goal deficit, especially because they've looked a lot better in these last few minutes than they did in the first few of the period, which flipped the ice a little bit. But they've responded well after those 2 early goals and have kept themselves in it. That one's fired, and that one's going to be blocked in front by a couple of Eagle players and now pushed out the other direction. They're going to get another icing here for Post. We don't keep track of the icings. There's not a stat for it, but if I had to guess, it has to be close to about a dozen now for LIU over these first 2 periods that have given them these offensive zone chances through the first 2.
Right, and again, those are those unforced turnovers that you really don't want to give up.
Post wins a big face-off there. Face-offs in their favor as well so far in this period. I believe that is their 10th now. Currently, yep, that is their 10th. 10 out of 17 won by Post in this period. So they're winning initially, but they've not been able to sustain at times. As here we go, flying in is Wallner. Oh, man, she almost collided with her own player. Now a shot on goal there by Wheeldland. Saved by Glassroot, a nice save in front. Wallner just came flying in and almost took out Wheeldland before that. Would have been an opportunity there possibly for Post. If they did both wipe out, you would have potentially had only 3 Sharks in the other direction.
Yeah, that's about as close as you can get without an actual collision.
Peterson taking the draw against Kearns. That one will go in LIU's favor as that one's shot wide. Farberman looked to try and get it, but Kolp's going to take it. It's still in the offensive zone. Kolp fires it wide, and now Wysocki's got it the other way. Another big thing the Sharks team has done in the second is they've done a good job of keeping the puck within the blue line. As the Eagles come flying in there, that was a shot by Farberman. Farberman still got it. No one is around her, and you see that she wasn't getting much pressure from the LIU defense until one of them came flying in there and now knocked her down. That was Kearns with the knockdown. Puck's still loose, and now it's going to go back to the Sharks. But Sharks have done a great job in this period of keeping that puck within the blue line so they don't have to come back over and come back in again with the puck. Eagles keep firing it up the wall and just quite aren't able to get it out. Sharks have done a good job of kind of protecting that near side, near the glass, near the blue line. Back behind with it are the Sharks. Babington's trying to push it up, and now Rourke's got it. She goes behind Abramson. Rourke speeding around. Just about a minute and a half, just under a minute and a half remaining here in the second. 2-1. Sharks. Curry with a shot goes wide. Mortal might have gotten a piece of it. And now Noonan with it. Noonan not able to get that pass over to Ammons, and now it's going to go the other way for LIU, and they're trying to get some fresh skaters out there. Kolp looks like she's tired coming to try and get that puck. And with no changes on that front line for the Sharks, this is a golden opportunity for the Eagles to potentially get something going the other way on an odd man, and they're just going to dump it in. Curry's just going to dump it in, and that's not going to be an icing as she got past the neutral zone. Ammons got it. She fires it in deep. Abramson's going to pick it up. 40 seconds to go here in the second period. It's 2-1 Sharks. Shots favoring them right now, 19-12 and 9-6 overall. So it's been another low shot on goal period for both sides. Overall shots have been high, but the amount of accurate shots have been far and few for both teams. As you see, like a lot of cover-ups like that. And the important thing to note with shots on goal is that, you know, just because the goalie makes the glove save or hits it with their pad, it doesn't always constitute a shot on goal if it comes outside of the the pipes. If they're way out or they have to jump for it over the net, it's usually not going to count as a shot on goal, which is why we've had a few of those today where both Glassard and Abramson have both had to make saves of that sort that have just not been in that area that would constitute it being a shot. 4 seconds remaining, and looks like that's how this period's going to end. One last opportunity there for Grom, and that'll do it. So after 2 periods of play, it's LIU 2, Post 1, but this one has been a pretty even tilt so far. As we'll take a quick break and come back with some second period stats, show you a few more videos. Men's lacrosse just getting underway this season, so we also have a new head coach in Pat Iannarelli. We have a Meet the Coach video. We'll show you that and get you some stats here in the second intermission.
So I got my start coaching high school in New Jersey, and I've started 3 collegiate programs, the College of Mount St. Vincent. I took Morrisville State from a junior college to a 4-year school, and Lourdes University in Toledo, Ohio. And I've also coached at a couple high schools too. So my coaching philosophy, we are a program of service. We believe in giving to others and building ourselves through service. So as a team, we will be readily available to help the youth lacrosse in the area, volunteer our time at other situations, and to be one on the team who is reaching out to the others on the team, their peers, and building their leadership skills, community skills, and getting ready for the next step of life. We are attempting to build a culture of giving back. We will build with the young men on our team, and they come from freshmen, through leadership groups, book clubs, involvement in the community, to get them looking beyond themselves to what they can do and what they can add. So by the time they leave the university, leave the program, they are really ready for the next step of life. We work 4 years of lacrosse for the next 40 years of our lives. So we'd like to kind of base that off of effort and accountability. The biggest thing that we're looking to do, we're looking to fulfill graduation, get these guys ready for the next step academically, put them in the best spot they could be in order to move forward in their careers. We look for competitiveness on the field where these guys will be able to compete for championships year in and year out, getting themselves prepared and doing what's necessary to get to that level, and representing the university in a good light, having the men's lacrosse team be a positive light on the university, one that people are happy to have a part of Post University. Why I came to Post? At Post, after living in the Midwest for the past 10 years, the beauty of the area, the mountains of the area, the trees, has a big part for me personally. Looking at the university, having a large online presence was a really good thing with the way that universities are moving these days. The small campus feel, walking around campus and having a cozy feel amongst the buildings with all of the people that were very kind, saying hi, offering me help wherever I went. And the stability within the athletic department is something that I really look forward to being a part of. The support that's offered seems to be very positive at Post University under solid leadership. Famous person I would like to eat with Teddy Roosevelt. I would like to hear stories about the Rough Riders and how his travels were when he went overseas and whatnot. So, you can't do things like that these days, and it would be exciting to hear from him. New York pizza or Connecticut pizza, having lived in the Midwest for 10 years, either pizza would be great, to be honest, but growing up in northern New Jersey, New York pizza is definitely in my heart, and I look forward to getting back to some of that. I think overall, I'm just really excited for this next step in my career, being part of a program that has had many positive influences in the past and is building. And so to be able to come in and be a part of this next level, next step, is exciting to me moving forward.
Hey, I'm Dylan Bell, the new cross-country coach here at Post University. I'm a Bethel native. I graduated from there in 2017 and then went on to do my undergrad and graduate studies at Houghton University over in Western New York, where I'll graduate with my MBA this spring. And I've spent the last 2 years at Houghton University as a grad assistant for the cross-country and indoor and outdoor track programs. And what I'm looking forward to most here at Post University is building a team up into a conference contender. What I'm looking forward to most in coaching is kind of starting this team from the ground up and introducing that team culture that develops kids from where they were at their previous school to new levels as athletes and as people. My coaching philosophy is built heavily on development and sustainable growth in mileage and in intensity. I found in my years as a runner myself and in the last 2 years of coaching is that mileage makes champions, but there's a balance to the intensity and the nuances of hard workouts and when to race and when to kind of peak your athletes. So as a coach, I want to meet kids where they are at physically and emotionally and kind of maturity-wise. So building a team culture where we can all depend on each other and we all have that love and looking out for each other, both off the practice scene, but then once we come to practice, we're able to kind of focus on the task at hand, whether that's just going easy on an easy day or hitting the prescribed paces in a workout so that we're ready come race day. Pump up song for a run. I think you can't go wrong with a lot of alternative or even happy music rap, something with a high BPM. In the summer, I'll find myself running to a lot of Taylor Swift. World famous runner could have beaten a mile. I think Usain Bolt, because he's been retired for a couple of years and he doesn't notoriously go over 400 meters, I think. In terms of recruiting here at Post University, I'll be looking to add a wide breadth of experience and current talent and people with a lot of potential and the ability to work at developing over the course of their time here. In terms of times, I'd be looking for anyone that's run kind of on the local courses knows that you can run like a 19 flat 5K and still have potential to grow into what's eventually a very successful collegiate runner. So I'll take anyone that's kind of willing to work on mileage, get their mileage up, and work hard for the next couple of years. I'd love to get some well-rounded 17-minute 5Kers all the way up to 19:30 on the men's side. As for the women's side, we'd love to kind of add a wide range of runners again from maybe the 19-minute range, high 18s, all the way up to maybe the 23s, 24s, and just kind of decide how much mileage they've been doing, where we can get them for their freshman year and build up off of that. So my immediate goal for this coming fall is to field a full team of runners. That's at least 5 in each gender. I'm confident we can get 5, 7, 8 if we get the right conversations going. There is scholarship money available, so I'd love to talk with people about what their expectations are, what the school fit they're looking for is regarding location, size, cross-country program, etc. But my goal is to get an established team for this fall. What that looks like in terms of times, we'll have to find out, and we'll see who's signed up come summertime. But my goal for both sides is to establish a team that will compete at conferences this fall. In terms of long-term goals, I'd love to build a lasting program that is healthy in roster size from like 15 to 20 kids on each side, to then also competing for conference championships in the fall, developing in the off-season with like a healthy mix of freshmen to seniors that can kind of push each other to grow over the summer and into the fall again.
He's avoiding me because they don't want him to be on me. Here we go.
Do it, marker.
Am I snowy? I did a big wipeout. Yep. Hi. Taste test. That's like an 8. Solid 8.
No one will speak to me because this thing is on. I don't like looking up and seeing the cameras directly on us.
I know.
Oh, that's okay.
Ow.
It happened.
Uh-oh. That's offside.
And you want it on your back, Jen?
Oh.
Thank you.
Smoking it.
I don't think they're going to show this.
Yeah.
Ollie?
Yeah.
Do you have a sleepover? No.
Oh.
Sorry.
I feel like too. This one's kind of a leg burner. Like non-stop. I need water. But now the ice is a mess.
Yeah.
I just have to watch my mistakes. I always cuss. Yeah. Not like at anybody, but at myself. Nobody will talk to me. They're all like nervous. Give me some ASMR. Nice. I wish I had like a great. Jade, it's profanity. I'm mic'd up. Jade, what's your favorite conspiracy
Narrow
theory?
all the way across the shot. Alright, so try to notice
Aliens? Do you believe in aliens?
close or not.
You
Okay?
got it?
We got it. Doing a good
There
job.
has to be. I could argue for like an entire week about that. Chris is ripping it today. I don't want to get pressure first. It's going to be one of those. It's going to be interesting with the new lines.
Good job.
Oh no, she's gonna yell at me. Just because I saw two people on the one side and I knew Jody was going that way. So I thought it would be a good play. Just fine. Stop at the red line. Talk to me. No. I have a question. I got stuck behind the net again with the puck. I don't know what to do. I feel so useless. My gum is so stale. Someone smells like fruit punch or some. Is it your wax? How did yours come out? I think good. I think mine is kind of stupid. That's okay. We'll see.
I'm glad that.
It's already broken. Yeah, every damn day. Nice.
We need to walk into Assumption with confidence, ready to win that game. This league is up for grabs, and I intend to start grabbing.
Eagles on three! 1, 2, 3, Eagles! Yeah.
I have never seen anybody, well, except for your sister, score goals with such speed and precision. You are going to be a great soccer player. You're already a great kid. It is a pleasure being your coach.
From the moment we learned to dribble, pass, stick handle, and score, we have been captivated by the dream of owning the surfaces we play on.
Pioneers who paved the way through societal norms to the modern-day trailblazers, we have been rewriting the narrative and etching our names in every arena, proving that determination knows no boundaries.
In a world where strength knows no gender, we have redefined the game, shattered stereotypes, and left an indelible mark on the world of sports.
It's not only about the victories on the field.
Yes! The Eagles complete the comeback!
Down the goal! Pedro Desai finds the back of the net, and that's the first post goal of the season.
Simmons to beat the buzzer. It goes! Ty-Shanae Simmons.
It's about the resilience and the passion through adversity with an unyielding spirit that defines women in sports. Turning challenges into triumphs, proving that in every sprint, every goal, and every victory, women redefine excellence. Proving that dedication knows no gender and that passion transcends boundaries. Driven to conquer sports with speed and skill in order to elevate our game. When no one is watching, we keep going, again and again, time after time.
It's about empowering the next wave of female athletes, instilling confidence, and teaching them that their voice matters on and off the field. Together we celebrate victories, learn from defeats, and earn every minute we play.
Shot from Mortal. And then it was also assisted by Ryan Kearns, who got the puck out. So a great job by our team up here to try and figure out what exactly went on there, because it was a little bit of a wild sequence in both cases. But we were able to kind of piece it together with what we could see and make out. And that brings us to where we are now. It's a 2-1 game in favor of LIU. And this is the closest that the Eagles have ever been in a game against the Sharks. The closest matchup that they had against them ever all time was a 3-1 loss back on October 29th, 2022, a 2-goal loss to them on the road. This is the closest they've ever been at home, being down just 1 goal. However, they still have not ever scored an elusive second goal against this Sharks team. They'll try and do that here. They're going to need to do that, Pete, if they want to tie this game up and potentially have a chance to win it.
Yeah, it's going to be important for them to come out hard here in the first 5 minutes of this period. Honestly, just like the Sharks did to them at the beginning of the second period. So making that hard push, and again, once the play gets going, limit your unforced errors. That's really going to be a difference maker against a very good team because they're able to take advantage of those things. So, and again, to me, an icing falls into that category of those, unforced errors. So, certainly put pucks to this goaltender because this goaltender has not had to play and handle the puck quite a bit. So, coming into the third period like this could play is to an advantage to Post.
Yeah, and once you start to get that pressure on LIU, you've got to make sure you can maintain that too, and that's something Post has struggled with. They've had their moments where they sort of blitz the Sharks, and then they kind of fall back into that sort of lethargic state where they're not able to keep up with them for a long stretch, and that's what we saw in that second period, which made all the difference, and then the Eagles kind of got their legs under them. The big thing too, though, is Coach Gretchen Silverman doesn't have her timeout anymore now. All they'll have is the media here in the third. So if this is still a 2-1 game, and you're talking in the final 2 minutes in that same breath, as I say that, McKay fires and Glasser gets the save, you're talking about having to just kind of go in there raw for those final 2 minutes, and you won't really be able to set anything up with your team unless LIU were to call the timeout, obviously, as that was what they did there. Maddie Noonan with a great chance at a one-timer. That was Riley Patfield that set her up, and Noonan just could not get her stick on it. So a good start for the Eagles so far in this first minute on the offensive end, and now we're going to get a whistle for a high stick. And here's a big opportunity now for the Eagles. That's going to be Kaylee Campbell going to the penalty box. And I've said it before, and I just bring it up again because we're on the power play again. But the Eagles 1 for 30 in their last 8 games on the power play. 0 for 2 today. They have not scored in 28 consecutive power play opportunities. And this is your chance here right at the start of the third, like Pete mentioned just a few minutes ago, to kind of take it to the Sharks early. Maintaining the puck control here will be big on this power play. Get as many opportunities as possible. Grom back to Curry. Curry, who's been the hot hand for goal scoring this year on the ice during this power play. Wysocki not out there. Noonan, they tried to feed her in front, and now Curry's got a chance, and Abramson gets the save. Grom now has got it in the corner. Eagles doing a good job so far with the first 30 seconds. This is what I saw them set up at practice too, having one in the middle, 2 out top, and trying to set it up by passing the puck around. A good cross-ice pass gets tipped out by Eid, but the Eagles still controlling. Grom trying to get to it, she will. Eid's going to get off of that puck now. Curry with it. Again, the longer you keep these Sharks in the defensive zone, the more tired they're going to get. This is a 5-on-4 unit right now, and the more stagnant the Eagles can be, the better. That was a great slapdown by Van Den Uetlar. They tried to catch him in between the change, couldn't do so. Curry's still out there. Most of the Eagles still out there. They get a change now in the middle of this, and now flying in to grab that one. Whoa, man, watch out for the close contact there is McKevikas. And she's pinned in the corner by Rourke. Got about 40 seconds remaining here on the power play. Another nice job by the Eagles to keep it in. They've done a really good job on this power play so far. Now you've got Sage to the side, wide open shot, saved by Abramson.
Yeah, and that's a good play, good puck movement. Just like to release that a little bit quicker, a little bit lower, create a rebound, let that puck rattle around in front, maybe we can find it.
Yeah, and that was something that Coach Silverman was doing with her team this past week on that practice I saw on Monday, was get that puck and just turn and shoot. And she was actually working with Desai specifically on making sure she turned her hips the right way towards the goal to set herself up to shoot it. And you saw she had to make a little bit of an adjustment, gives Abramson just enough time to adjust. Now Peterson in front has a shot opportunity taken away there. McKevikas had a good chance there for the redirect, unable to deflect it in. Desai, though, gets it over to Wysocki between her legs. Eagles pretty much the entire 2 minutes have controlled this one, as unfortunately, though, they're going to move to 1 for 31 on their power play now in their last 8 games. And that'll be now the 29th straight power play in which they have not been able to convert and get a goal. But the offensive push for the Eagles during that stretch was very strong. And they had plenty of opportunities to do it, just not able to cash in. They disrupted Abramson quite a bit, though, with those shot attempts all over the place. And now, oh, look at this one. Skating in and scoring on the top shelf is Maggie Culp. No, actually, it's not going to go in. That was just off the post and out. I thought that got in under the goal mouth. Eagles catch a break there. I mean, she sniped that one past Glassroot, but I guess it just got enough of the crossbar to not go across that red line. The ref down there saying no goal. I thought for sure it had crossed in. Sharks still with it. That's Culp, who just missed the goal opportunity there. It would have been big for the Sharks too, and then it would have been a backbreaker for the Eagles here in the third. So the duality of the shot there really changes the course of this game. Culp, a nice dive there while she was falling to the ground to keep it alive in the offensive zone. Now the Eagles, tired legs. You got to think they're going to try and dump this one in and get a change. But then, no, not what Kali Kubacek had in mind. She was thinking offense all the way. She almost gets down there to grab that one, but now it's back over to LIU. Miller now coming up the right side of the ice. Larson in front of her. Miller's shot blocked by Larson. And the Eagles, still on the back of their heels, are able to do some good stuff on defense and control this puck. They've been controlling it a lot more. It's still loose. And just kind of whiffed at it initially by Wysocki. Now the Eagles break out, and they're just going to slap that one in on net. Abramson makes the stop. Shot by Patfield there. And that's one of those, like we were talking about in the second period, shots on goal for goalies. That's one that does make it to the crease and would count as a shot on goal as opposed to going to the left or right of the net. About 5 minutes gone by here in the third. Both teams have had some good opportunities. Maggie Culp narrowly missed the shot opportunity going in. You had Macy Peterson in front on the other side with a chance to try and do something on the loose puck against Abramson, and neither team has been able to cash in on opportunity. But right now the Eagles need to cash in on opportunity if they want a chance to get their first ever win in program history, against the Sharks. Still with possession is Post, now getting a change here. They've done a lot better job here in the first 6 minutes of controlling the puck possession, especially on that power play where they maintained it for nearly all of 2 minutes. And they didn't allow LIU to clear it out of their zone completely. One of the big things you saw was Casey Van Den Hoed-Etlar knocking down a puck just enough in the neutral zone to help keep the offensive attack alive for Post and keeps LIU with tired defenders out on the ice just a little bit longer. Sharks now trying to create a push. Kearns had it just a second ago, and now weaving around with it is Culp. Culp near the left side is draped on by Devlin. It's going to push out, and that's something we hadn't seen a lot of from Post early on in this game, getting that puck past the blue line, where then LIU has to make a complete change, and Post can set things up, and that one was dangerous right there. Shot attempt by number 24, Sage McKay, went in front of Glassroot off of a Post defender's leg. The Eagles were able to find it. Danny Ammons now grabs it. Eagles doing a lot better job of holding the puck in their defensive end and waiting for their offense to get up and then creating a play. Another thing I heard at practice on Monday with this team was, as we're going to get a shot opportunity there for Grom. No, man, she lifted that one just like you want to see. And she just wasn't able to get it under the crossbar, but she had Abramson, it looked like, beat with the shot chance. But nonetheless, we remain in a 2-1 game. Falling down on the ice as that was McKevichus trying to go for it. And now LIU breaking out the other way. Shot attempt by Mortal goes out. But that was the thing Gretchen Silverman was talking about the other day. I was finishing my train of thought there before that happened, as looks like we're going to get a whistle here and potentially a penalty. Yep, we're going to get a penalty here on the Eagles. Nope. Yep, it's going to be Tim Marie Grom going to the box for 2 minutes. looked like it was for a high body check.
But to your point, Mike, with the up and down here, two really similar in a way grade A opportunities by both Post and LIU. LIU's crossbar and out, Post just over the top of the crossbar. So both teams exchanging some couple of good grade A chances.
Yeah, and head coach Gretchen Silverman was talking about on Monday about the importance of when they set up a play, which you're seeing the Eagles do a lot more of in this period. When they set up a play, realizing it's going to break down at times, as that was a shot there by Mortal that goes out. It's going to break down at times, and you can't be discouraged and just go back on defense. You have to go for it and try and still create an opportunity. And the Eagles look to be trying to set up their plays a little bit more. It'll be interesting to see if they set that up and then they get that shot or they get into the offensive zone, if they're able to maintain that composure that Coach Silverman was looking for in those situations where they don't just hesitate or give up after the play breaks down, but they make something out of that broken down play in the offensive zone on the attack to, especially in this case, try and tie it up and have a chance to win it, as that was a wide open opportunity for Culp, and the Eagles were just caught looking at nothing, it seemed like. And just like that, Maggie Culp is going to cash in on an opportunity after not being able to do so just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, and that's, to your point, that's a good point, because that play that was almost a goal for LIU earlier in the period came off of right after that really good power play. They had possession, they were going after it, but when the puck transitioned, you could almost feel the letdown, and they were just chasing for the next several minutes.
Now you see LIU up 2 goals. It just felt like right there. I mean, the initial shot by Culp kind of walked in all by herself. Glasser does make a great save there. But where was the Eagles' defense on it? They were kind of caught napping on the left side, and Culp literally just picked up the rebound and just plugged it into the left side. And that really changes things now, as it's a 2-goal game here in the waning moments of the third period. Still plenty of time, obviously. But now work to be done, as that was a power play goal for LIU. So Maggie Culp, after just missing the crossbar chance, ends up redeeming herself with the goal there and gives LIU a big 3-1 lead. It's 3 unanswered goals now for LIU. And now the big thing to watch is, how does Post respond? There's still plenty of time to get a chance at this game, even though it's a 2-goal game now in the third. Do you continue to fight and claw back to try and get this one, or do you kind of just, back off a little? We want to see how you respond to this sort of thing. And this will be a big opportunity, it looks like, to respond to it, as that's going to be a power play chance for Post. So now there's an opportunity here, as that's going to be Lanto going to the sin bin for 2 minutes. Again, Post now, it looks like they're going to get it for a, couldn't see, I saw the hand motion but couldn't quite make it out. Cross check called against Lanto, and now the Eagles with a chance to get themselves back into this. Right before the media, too, by the way. That one stays in. Ammons now in front. Oh, a nice chance there for McKevikis, and she just can't corral it. Now Wysocki behind the net with really nobody around her. Now LIU defender gets in there. That's Fairman. Last power play, the Eagles did a good job of keeping that puck in the offensive zone. Doing so here now is Wysocki over to Ammons. Wysocki in the middle. Wysocki back over to Ammons. She's going to push it over to Van Den Uitlaar. She fires, and that got through the legs of Fairman, and it looks like it kicked off of McKevikis in front. I thought I heard it hit a post. But with 1:22 remaining now, you've seen the first about 40 seconds of this power play stay in the offensive zone for Post.
Yeah, again, 2 power plays in a row so far with good pressure by Post.
And it's just about, can they cash in on those opportunities? And that's the first time on now the second power play of the period that we've seen a full-on clear for LIU. They were not able to do so on the first power play that the Eagles had in this period. 9 minutes to go. This is a big chance for the Eagles to get themselves back into this game and still have a shot. Lost glove there for Noonan. She's picking it up. Eagles don't have control of the puck right now. That one's going to be kicked out and down the ice. Post has about 40 seconds left to try and see if they can get something on this power play and make it a 3-2 game. And then, of course, we'll have the media coming up. Fairman, though, is going to grab that one. 30 seconds still and just dump that one out of there as Wysocki's coming on the ice. Van Den Uytlar, who's been out there for pretty much the entire power play now, is pinned against the wall. She looked tired getting to that puck, but she's continuing to stay out there with it as Farberman dumps it in. Peterson's got it. Peterson dancing around the net. Now she's going to get it out to the point to Van Den Uytlar. Ammons now with 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 on the power play. Vito with the shot, no good. It's blocked in front there by Morrow. Now it goes back around the net to McKevikis, who's got it. Nobody in front for her to try and feed. Peterson just didn't break out quite yet to go and get that. Now she's pinned to the boards. McKevikis is with 3 people on her from the Sharks. And now the puck passes out to the blue line as Wysocki picks it up. 7.5 minutes to go here in the third period. A 3-1 game in favor of the Sharks. And now we're going to get a draw just outside of the LIU zone. But first we're going to go to the media timeout with 7:36 here remaining in regulation, with the Sharks leading 3-1.
Yeah, and this is really Coach Silverman's only opportunity, unless at some point the Sharks call a timeout, to kind of set up what you're going to do when you're going to pull your goaltender. You know, this makes it a little different with a 2-goal difference. Do we wait and do it, anywhere from the 4-minute mark in? If there's a power play, do we pull them then to make it 6-on-4? What we want to do. So she'll have to figure that out in her head. Have that drawn up so she can make that change and address that on the bench with those players, and see what they're going to do once that comes. But first and foremost here, win a draw and try to pressure for the next 2 to 3 minutes hard anyway, full strength.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is, in a lot of these games where the Eagles have been down a couple of goals, we haven't actually seen them, pull whoever's in net very much. It's been very rare this year that we've seen an empty net, even in a 2-goal game. So it will be interesting to see if they decide to pull Glassrud out of the net in a 3-1 game. It's only happened a handful of times so far this year. But we'll see if the Eagles, if they can get one back here, you'll definitely see an empty net in the waning moments. But they have to find something on offense, as this one's now going in favor heavily of LIU. Wallner just had it a minute ago, now a chance in front. Puck just kind of skips away. That was Wheeldland, and now fired on high. That was Wallner. Wallner, who's already got a goal. Nice deflection there by Luckman. I don't know if she intended to do that. She was kind of looking around for the puck. It deflected up high off of her. But now Wheeldland's got it in the offensive zone. She gets it across. That shot's going to be blocked out. That was Vreeman. Now we're going to get another icing here with 6:18 to go. Regulation. Trying to get you some scoring updates as well with the teams around the round post, because we do have a few teams, I should say, in action today. Baseball got underway about 2 hours ago. They won last night 5-1 in their season opener. Women's basketball just closed out a 20-point victory. So I believe, again, I don't have the scores. That one shot on net by Lanto and covered up by Glassrud eventually. I don't have the final score of the Bloomfield College game. But with that win today, the Eagles moved to 8-2 in conference play, and with a Bloomfield loss at Jefferson, they would clinch officially a playoff spot in the CACC tournament. but the Eagles picking up a big 89-69 win today over Wilmington. The men going to get underway shortly from the Drubner Center there. That one was fired in by the Sharks, and now Glasser's just going to finally jump on it with 5:48 remaining. And still a 2-goal game. Baseball currently trails 3-1 against Nova Southeastern. Bottom of the 6th inning. And it looks like the final for men's lacrosse, it was 18-6 in favor of your Eagles. So Pat Iannarelli picks up his first win as the head coach of Post University today. Eagles get to 1-1 on the season. We don't have final stats on that yet. But that was the final score. So far today, Eagles team's 2-0. Beautiful opportunity here, and man, if Noah Farberman's able to read it just a little bit better, she had Julia Wysocki wide open with the net all to herself on the right side for a chance at making this a 3-2 game.
Yeah, if you could just have a little more poise there and maybe a little better communication between the two, you have a great A right there.
5:20 remaining here in the third. It's still 3-1. And Farberman not able to cash in on that opportunity there. Still plenty of time for the Eagles. It's not over by any means. It's still only a 2-goal game. Again, 2 early goals in the second period gave the lead back to the Sharks. After just some mental lapses early from the Eagles, allowed those opportunities to come about. Post punched back with a little bit of an offensive threat in the second, and then kind of were able to just get out of there with escaping with only being down 1. They've had 2 power play opportunities here in the third. They weren't able to cash in on. Both Tim Marie Grom on the Eagles side had a chance that went just over the crossbar. Maggie Culp had one get off the crossbar and just didn't go in. I thought it went in. And then Culp ended up cashing in on the power play a little while later after her first opportunity to score. Lots of action going on for Post today in addition to this game. Like we mentioned, men's lacrosse winning earlier. Women's basketball just won a little while ago. Men's basketball is getting set to get underway. And baseball is kicking off right now. McKevichus had an opportunity there. That goes out. Abramson, a nice opportunity. Excuse me, Abramson, a nice save there on the opportunity by McKevichus. Now other way, LIU's breaking out with it. That's the captain Rourke, and she just kind of looked to go backhand with it. Wasn't able to convert. Now they're down in the corner. Curry trying to do something with it, and now Pitter all over her. Fairman gonna get it over to Rourke. Rourke now pushes it across, not able to get there, and Butera's got it now on the left side. Looking a little bit like a power play opportunity right now for LIU in terms of just the overall setup, as they've controlled the puck in the zone without much pushback from the Eagles to get them off of the puck in those last couple of minutes. Butera now still out there, working her way towards the middle. And now onto the outside, Rourke's got it back. Rourke pushes it over to center ice. That was number 17 over there, Freeman. Freeman still with it. 3 minutes to go. And Post has not been able to get really any offensive chances here in the last couple of minutes. It seems like they're finally starting to run out of steam here down the stretch, and now you're seeing LIU kind of take over in terms of puck possession and just overall, as you see right off of the bench there. Wallner came in for it. Luckman with a nice move. She's got Devlin right next to her, and she's going to fire that one on net. Not a bad thing to do, though. As you see, it looks like Glasserud. No, Glasserud's not coming off. It looked like she was.
She wanted to.
she came off briefly, but I think assistant coach Chris Huntington told her to go back in the goal. Makes sense. You want to win the faceoff first to make sure you're set on offense before you just leave your team off, especially with the way LIU has controlled the pace the last couple of minutes. Glasserud looks anxious to get out of there, and I don't think she's going to be able to unless Eagles can get this one in deep and just kind of set something up. and they have not been able to do that for the past several minutes now, as that's a turnover. Wheeland's going to come in with it. Wheeland fires, blocked by Desai and out. And now here's an opportunity for Kubicek. She's one-on-one. She's got somebody to help her right there. And McKevitt hits Kubicek shot high. I was looking for her second goal of the game. Holly Kubicek had her first goal of the year earlier in this one. It got the Eagles up 1-0, the first time in the series that they've led. And now Glasser is going to come out. Chance here, Wysocki right there. Abramson, whoa. We got a little bit of a push from the back there. I don't know if that... Yeah, it looked like Riley Patfield fell in the back of Abramson, but it also looked like one of the Sharks players who was in that scrum may have pushed her into Abramson, which kind of led to the little extracurricular afterwards. But Wysocki right there with a chance, not able to quite convert. 1:38 to go, Glasserud on the bench. You got to win this faceoff if you're the Eagles. And they do. Farberman fires right away. It's loose. And Maddie Noonan wasn't able to get around her defender to do anything with it. Now here's where you got to see if you can get the puck back. They do. Ammons at the point. Ammons fires it. It goes off of a couple Shark sticks. And now it's tied up in the corner. Post still with possession here. Grom, good pass over to Van Den Uytlar. Ammons with a chance to shoot, doesn't. Whiffs on it and goes back over to Van Den Uytlar. But she's got it right back now. Ammons with it, pushes it down to Wysocki. Wysocki over to Ammons. 1 minute remaining here in the third. Wysocki, oh, it looked like she was set to fire and just couldn't. Ammons shot blocked right there by number 13, Lanto. Now we're back in the corner with it again. Eagles dig it out with Grom, and oh, here we go. Now the other way, Lanto's going to grab it. Lanto's probably going to be able to shoot that one, and it's off the post outside. Pitter's going to grab it, and now here we go. There's a chance here for them again. Rourke's going to fire, and it's going to be blocked down by Ammons. Eagles with a chance to break out here. 3 goalies on the ice for Post right now, it seemed like. It's everybody getting in on the action to try and keep this at a 2-goal game. 25 seconds left. And at this point, it's probably going to be all elementary in terms of being able to do anything. But the Eagles not giving up yet. Curry shot high. 15 seconds, and it's going to be pressed into the corner. Curry now back at the point. 8 seconds left. Curry gets it over to Peterson, and she's going to be tied up. It's going to be hard to get one more shot here. 3 seconds on the clock. 2, 1. And that'll do it here, folks, as Post University scores the first goal early, just was not able to hold on over the next 2 periods. They took a 1-0 lead into the intermission, but 3 unanswered goals by the Sharks give this one a final score of 3-1. It was Holly Kubicek getting them on the scoreboard first with her first goal of the season off the shot by Danny Ammons that got tipped in. But then the Eagles would fall behind, as it would be 3 unanswered goals, like I mentioned, 2 of them coming pretty close apart. 32 seconds into the second period, it was Jeannie Wallner with the deflected shot in, and then Grace Babington had the other goal later on, another deflected one, and then Maggie Culp. We didn't quite get the assist on that power play goal yet, but she got the final goal of the game. And if we look at the final stats that we have here, 30 shots on goal for LIU, 22 for Post. A better showing yesterday out of them, but the big thing is they were 0 for 4 on the power play. And that brings them to now 1 and 31 now on the power play over the past 8 games, and they've not been able to convert on the last 29. Pete, what did you see out of this team across all 3 periods, and specifically in those final 2, where they just weren't able to get anything offensively?
Yeah, really the difference maker for me was a couple of things. It was LIU being more prepared to play, coming out strong, beginning of that second period and taking advantage and scoring those 2 goals. And then Post, while doing some good things, was not able to do them consistently. There was quite a bit of ebb and flow in their game, and against a very good team, that's tough. They did a good job in terms of occasionally playing them even, but you can't win by playing teams even. You have to find a way to meet their intensity and rise above that. And they did a lot of good things, but just not consistently enough.
Yeah, the big thing that I noticed, too, was especially on the power play, even though, again, they didn't cash in, and we talk about the numbers overall haven't been great for them on the man up, they looked a lot more organized than they have in past games on the power play. And like I mentioned, that was something that they worked on this week. But they looked a lot better on getting those chances to score on the power play. And they just weren't able to cash in today. And again, you got to tip your cap to this team who's, again, without numerous players. Jade Giesbrecht's been out for a few weeks. I mentioned Marley Webster, Jody Rose. So you're missing one of your forwards. You're missing one of your defenders. You have Hannah Saunders is out too on the goaltender side of things, which while Grace Glasser is obviously going to play all 60 minutes, if in case of injury you're going to your third string in Hallie Lawrence, who just played yesterday. But we saw a lot of good things too from this shorthanded team for sure in terms of being able to hang tough with the Sharks.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is, you know, the way the playoffs are set up, right? You're not out of the playoffs till you lose that 2 out of 3 in that 3-game series. So it's about just finding ways to get better. Now that you've found ways to get better, you have to find a way to introduce consistency into your game, and that'll be the difference maker.
So the final score from here today, it's LIU 3, Post University 1. Folks, be sure to tune into the game for the men's basketball team, who looks like it's just about to get underway in a few minutes. It's 2:57. They're set to tip off at 3. We'll be heading up back to Waterbury after this one, but tune in with Griffin Cass for that one. Again, we've got a few other games going on today on the road that you can tune into on our website. But for us, for hockey, next weekend's the final weekend of home games for the men and for the women, as both teams, given their playoff positioning, will not have home games in the playoffs. So our final 2 days of games from Shelton come next Friday, as the men take on St. Mike's at 4 o'clock, and then your Post-University women's ice hockey team is back against Sacred Heart, who they beat in their last time out in December, 3-2. First time in program history they did so. That'll be senior night for them, and then the next day the men will have their senior night at 1 o'clock p.m. against St. Mike's on Saturday in our lone game on campus for Post-University athletics while every other team is away. But we thank you for joining us for today's game, and we'll see you for the next one. Be sure to tune in to men's basketball over on the Nest Network.